I can't even tell you guys how excited I am for you guys to meet this amazing woman sitting next to me. She has an incredible company called 8 Greens. She's a cancer survivor. Her wellness journey over the past 20 years is incredible. She flew all the way here from New York City, actually from London. Her name is Dawn Russell, and she's gonna tell you a little bit about her story, about her journey, about her phenomenal business called 8 Greens. And I have talked about her constantly over the past 2 years, and now I have her in the flesh, and she's gonna speak to you guys and tell you all about 8 Greens and what it is to be healthy.
For having me.
And I'm so excited
I know, so
you're
nice
here.
of you. Thank you.
For people who don't know you, can you kind of tell us how you got on this wellness track and kind of what led you here today?
I'd love to. Thanks for having me, first of all. So I got here today by accident, which is probably, I think, why it's been just a really organic, natural, great journey. And I say by accident because when I'm 44 now, and when I was 25, I had cancer that ultimately I couldn't do chemo or radiation because of a bone infection. Ended up traveling, literally it felt like anywhere and everywhere for almost 4 years, trying to find treatments to compensate for not having the chemo, just to end up in my little apartment in the West Village, going back to the basics of nutrition. So it was literally like, let's try strawberries. Oh, you get a rash. Let's try mushrooms. Oh, can't keep it down. Greens were the first thing that stayed in me. So long story short, once I really, did a lot to get back on my feet, I then got married, wanted to have my first child, used greens as well to just really help me with the pregnancy and my own health in the situation. And it was after I had my now 8.5-year-old that I sat my husband down and said, hang on, it's like so trendy, the kale, the this, the that, but so few people actually know about it. And if you know about it, you're probably just overwhelmed by it. And so my whole goal was to decomplicate it. And so little did I know that this would be it. I didn't really know what I was doing. I just knew my goal.
So this is what she's talking about, and they come in these boxes. And it's a little fizzy little tablet, and it has 8 greens, and I'm gonna tell you what they are: spinach, wheatgrass, kale, spirulina, chlorella, barley grass, and aloe vera. Tell them what this does.
So, well, first of all, the thing that I'm, if I can say, the most proud of, because for me, they had to be the real greens. None of you can have, this is as free as possible, free of dairy, free of sugar, free of gluten-free, obviously, GMO-free, preservatives-free. I wanted it literally just the greens, and then in a way that you and your children, because children, unless it tastes good, they're not gonna do it. But I didn't want sugar. So we have a drop of stevia, that's what gives the sweetness, and then a natural lemon lime. And this...
And will you tell them what's
Yeah, so the food equivalency, it's 6 cups of spinach, the vitamin C is equal to 6 oranges, 15 cups of broccoli for the vitamin B5, which I'm so excited about. The B12 is 7 cups of milk, which is great because so many people have lactose issues right now. And then the zinc is 2 cups of edamame. So it's as packed as I could humanly make it. And
it's incredible. And she has an amazing cookbook, and I've had this cookbook. I bought it literally right when it came out. And I love it because it's called The Simplest Way to Get Your Greens. And she doesn't make it complicated, but she takes amazing places in New York and California and London, and she breaks down the recipes, how to use them, and also how to use her tablet. In terms of when you think of wellness, and you think of 2019, and you think I'm 20 years of cancer survivor, what do you believe are the basis of your diet and where in your health? How do you live?
How do I live?
How do you live? What is a day in the life of Dawn Russell and her family?
With my kids, I have made it where literally, and some doctors I know will disagree and say your omega oils you have to keep in the refrigerator. I understand that, but if they're in the refrigerator in my family, they're gonna stay in the refrigerator. So we have around little tray, so to speak, on the breakfast table, and literally all of this sits on it. And what's now fun for me watching my 8 and 5-year-old is they'll take it out themselves, and they know, oh, here, mommy, the flaxseed, and they'll just throw it in their cereal. They have no idea that they're actually helping, get flaxseed in their system in the morning. Or the probiotics. I'm really trying to have just the bare essentials.
So if you break it down, so probiotics, she loves this brand. She was surprised we found it.
Jared's amazing. I mean, in New York, I have to go to this one pharmacy pharmacy on 41st Street, so it's amazing that you have it. And you can have, this is the chewable where you can push it out. They also do it in powder, where if your kids don't want to have the chewable, you can just pour it in the powder in a smoothie, literally in their orange juice. Like, it's so simple. Or on their cereal, you know, anything. Even on their toast before you put jam on. I mean, just get it out, you know?
And she comes up with really good ways to get things like this in
Because
here.
then your kids don't know. And it's really, you know, and so this, I was,
And tell us a little bit about like the Udo's oil, like the 369.
so yeah, I'm obsessed with Udo's oil.
And why?
Because, so it's very, I find omega oils, I don't care if it's children's, adult capsules, it's very hard. It's a very strong taste. It's very hard to, even after like you've had it, you can still kind of feel the texture a little bit and you're like, ooh, yeah. So, and also when you start looking at the omega 369, it can really get complicated. Like, just for you to know, your body naturally produces omega 9, so forget it.
Okay.
The omega 3 is super important. For me, like, people laugh, but my kids have so much hair, and they're always, all the mothers and stuff are like, why do your kids have so much hair? I swear this is why. Because in the omega 3, I hide this in everything, and it's quite strong.
Oh my God, I'm doing this.
But if you can put it in a smoothie, or if you put it in their brownies, they won't know. You do the olive oil and then subtract, you know, a little bit and put this. It's so good for them. I mean, their nails, their hair, it's so mega. I really should,
Okay,
like,
you guys,
reach
Udo's,
out to
we're
Dr.
getting-
Udo.
Yeah,
but
you should. She should be paid for this. No.
Yeah, but no,
Udo's
no.
oil, 369, made with organic flax, sesame, and sunflower seed oils.
Oh, and the other thing that I think is really important for people to know, just because I'm so into it that I know, like, this one is, there's different ones, like, you know, they'll have, oh, you've got to have the vitamin D for this, and then there's the brain power one. Don't complicate it. Like, I'm going to talk about Epsom salt in a minute. You can just go to your local drugstore and get the Epsom salt. Now they have, you know, the $100 Epsom salt with this and
The
that.
pink one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
And
almost
I'm
like rose quartz,
let's just
Epsom
keep
salt.
it simple. Like, when did it, like, we
Okay, so
lost
tell
its
them what's the
simplicity.
importance of Epsom salt.
So with Epsom salt, you literally drink so much Epsom salt that you never leave the bathroom.
drink it.
Yeah, which is pretty intense. Really intense, actually. But if you're really on your knees, either with like a flu or if, you know, I don't know, there's been a bachelor party or, you know, one of those, it does clean it out. So that's the super, super intense way, is to drink it. But the more gentle way to do Epsom salt, which I want everyone to try because it's so on the back of the label, it will say like a cup or 2 cups. You do the whole bag, okay? Lie in the bath as long as you can. I know it's super boring. After like 10 minutes, you want to get out. But here's the key. Don't dry yourself. Just put a towel on your bed and lie down and you let all the water soak in. That's, if you dry yourself, you've killed like a good 20% of the actual detoxing.
Doing this.
So just let it air dry. You go to sleep, and I'm sure you've done it, where like you kind of are feeling a little funky at night, but the next morning, I mean, you're like a baby's bum. It's so lovely. So, okay, this is for us adults. This would not be for your kids. But if you're really, really mucusy, I don't know if it's the traveling, like the planes or the winter months, you just are like, ugh. So you put this in water in your nose. Get ready. You know how people do the teacup?
Yeah.
I can't do the teacup. I just do this. And you just blow your
Let it
nose.
drain.
And it just comes out. It's literally, you're like,
This is what you use for babies.
yeah. You do the opposite. For babies, you suck the nasal, the
Out.
mucus
This
out.
you put it in.
First we put it in.
Oh, I'm
And just
doing
make
this.
sure you go in the sink and you just do one side. It just gets it all out.
And I have major sinus
Oh,
issues.
me too.
I know. I'm always,
And on
if it's
the
wet
plane,
and
it's-
someone
yeah.
sneezes, I have a sinus infection 7 days
the
later.
wind blows the wrong way and I'm with you. So
Okay, so if there's one thing you could do every day to stay healthy, what would it be?
I would definitely do the omega oils. And then the one thing I do for my family, which we don't have, but I don't care because it's so important. But people don't realize in America, you do it every day, not when you're sick. You have a teaspoon of Manuka honey every morning.
I bought the Manuka. I'm just telling Ashley, I bought the Manuka. I
your
bought the
kids.
Manuka. I bought the Manuka because Kourtney Kardashian said it was so good. And so
Oh, really?
I know,
Oh,
she did.
good.
I'm going to give her credit. I just didn't really know how to do the Manuka.
Okay, but you've got to do like the plus 15, you know that. 'Cause
What is
there's plus
that?
5, plus 10, plus. So Manuka honey, it's only made in New Zealand and it's the nectar of the shrub and it's the potency that really matters. So you can have like plus 5, plus 10. Now I know it's a big ask because it's so bloody expensive, but you've got to get the plus 15 because that's where all the bioactive ingredients are. But I mean, your husband,
And
your
what
3
does it
kids.
do?
It saves your life. It will absolutely, it breaks up the mucus, but it's the greatest immunity. And I do it every day. Like it's in my hotel right now. I take it every single morning, as does my husband, as does my
So
boys.
plus 15 Manuka honey teaspoon every day.
Every day.
What do you think about the whole celery juice? I know. It's like I'm embarrassed, but I really want to know.
So celery is actually considered an allergen. And it's so fascinating. If you go and start studying it, it's really hard to get top quality celery.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
Is it good for you? Is it what they're saying? Like, should you drink it fresh every day on an empty stomach?
Well, my personal belief is anything of too much and you're, you know what I mean? I mean,
know.
it's a lot.
a lot.
So it's
Like we got on a kick of like making it every day. And then I'm
Really?
like, oh yeah, we were trying to make it. Like you need like 3 or 4 bunches. We try to make it for like 2 or 3 days, and they're like, oh no, it has to be fresh every day. So I started buying it. Just
Did
like,
you see a difference?
I don't know. Maybe I wanted to, like the placebo effect. Like I wanted to.
I don't know. I have not jumped on that bandwagon. The charcoal bandwagon. I hopped off of.
I hopped off
You
of.
know, the CTB. I'm just like, I don't know. I find it all in moderation, and it's a bit tough for me. The celery one. I've got to be honest.
I think why I love Dawn so much and just what she does and how she leads her life is that she's always searching. And she's a little bit like me in that, or like, she's really interested. How does this work? How does this affect you? How does it affect your husband, your life, your kids? And you really love it. Like for you, it's been more of, coming from a place, I'm sure from, such an awful place to a place of healing. But you still now, you've taken that and you're like, wait, I want to try that. What do you got from there? What can I get from here? And I'm a bit like that. Like I love, not that I'm a trend bandwagon, but
You're
I'm always like,
interested.
what's next?
Yeah.
And I really, truly believe in integration. Like I really do. My mom's really sick right now. We just started talking about CBD, and I don't know a lot about it, but I've definitely been doing my research and helping her, and can it help with dementia and a little bit of Parkinson's and like just all the things of like, cause there's just not one way.
No, there's not.
And
one
I
way.
think I'm gonna leave everyone on this. There's not one way to do anything. There's not, it's not just this, it's not just that but to really search and find what's best for you and your family. That's what I'm all about. That's why I really, truly, believe in self-care. We get a lot of haters, sometimes on our social being like, oh, you're taking time away from your children and your family. Yes.
You're a better mom.
I'm a better mom, and I truly, truly believe that when I take care of myself and my body, and that's not about being skinny, but really when I take care of, I feel better. And I am a better mom, I'm a better wife, I'm a better friend, I'm a better daughter. So I do believe in that self-care, and I really think you have done such a good job of really putting your mouth, like living that kind of life with your products and with your cookbook. You guys have to get her cookbook. It's online, A Green. She has a whole new set of products coming out in September. I'm super excited all about skin. She was telling me all about it. She was like, she might have a gummy coming out. Please have a gummy coming out.
No,
And you can follow her on all her socials. We'll put it in the comments below. Let us know if you guys have any questions for us. We'll try to answer them.
Love to.
You're awesome.
So
Thank
are
you so
you.
much. Coming from
Oh.
London and New York, and I really appreciate it. And we're huge fans over here.
Oh,
and
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
thanks, guys.
Bye.